How's it going, guys? Recently, I came across this album cover while looking for some new music, and I thought it looked like a really cool inspiration to show you guys some 3D album covers that you can make in Blender. So in today's tutorial, we are going to be making this design, and we can also animate it in a loop. The first chunk of the video is going to be setting up a really interesting custom displacement system that really offers you an infinite amount of variety. My goal is to show you a plug and play displacement system so you can make as many different album cover variations as you want. Then once we pick what displacement combination we want to use, we're going to go ahead and make it look really cool with some shading. So I'm going to show you a really cool procedural material for the shading. Then all we'll need to do is animate it in a loop, and you'll have a really cool album cover animation. If you want to check out the project file for this with a few other extra little things in it, you can check that out on Patreon, linked in the description. This month I put out 2 tutorials on recursive subdivision and some really interesting artistic application of recursive subdivision. So if you want to check that out along with everything else that I've ever put on Patreon, you can check that out linked in the description, and you can get a discount if you subscribe annually. With that being said, let's get into this tutorial. All right, this is going to mostly happen in geometry nodes. So first off, let's go ahead and we need to start out with just some circular geometry so we don't have to make it in geometry nodes and make it more complicated. So I'm going to go ahead and get a circle, and then I'm going to go here in the add circle and just bring up the radius by quite a bit. I'm going to give myself 120 vertices, and then we're going to go with N-gon for the faces. So I'm going to go here to the wireframe view. I'm going to hit tab to go into edit mode and hit I, and just decide right over here about how big I want my disk to be. The disk is going to sit right here in this situation. I'm going to hit A, and right over here, we're going to go here to the loop cuts. Click on the loop cut, and then you can bring up your number of cuts. And I just bring up the cuts until the faces look square right around here. Really not an exact science. So if you just want to do what I did, I'm going to go with 24 cuts and then just leave it at that. Right up here, I'm going to click on the face. I'm going to get on the move tool. I'm going to click this middle face right here. I'm just going to hit E for extrude and bring it down. This is where our disk is going to lie. Now, speaking of the disk, I have a free file for you to download if you just want to throw in the disk that I'm using. So that's completely free. You do not need to be a subscriber to my Patreon. Just go hit the link in the description and click on the attachment, and it will download 2 project files for you. First, open up the disk file. That is going to give you the disk design, the CD design, and I'm just going to hit Control C, minimize this, Control V, snap it, and then you can just scale it down to the size of extrusion that we made, and then you can just go ahead and bring it up to something right about here. And you'll notice there's a bit of a design on that. So that is the second file. If you open up the cover image template, that is going to give you just a simple template image that can give you something really interesting on your disk and gives it this interesting treatment. So if you want to have it say what you want it to say, just go ahead and delete the first 2. I'm going to go ahead and hit A. I'm going to hit Control A, delete all of this, and I'm just going to say, so I'm going to have it say, and I'm going to hit Control A, Control C, and then just go ahead and paste it all around. And then once you're done, you can just sort of hit S and scale it to fit, and then highlight them, hit Shift D, hit Shift D one more time. And then if you go here to the render view, you can see it has an interesting template, an interesting look, and you can just go ahead and render that image. And then if you click on the disk, go here to shading, you click on the disk, and then just go ahead and make sure you have the material over here selected where it has a image texture, and you can put the image texture right into there. I'm just going to keep mine as it is, and let's go ahead and create that displacement. So let's head into geometry nodes, and we have this guy selected. I'm going to go ahead and click a new node tree. First thing I'm going to do is get a subdivide mesh node, and that is going to give us more high poly geometry. So you can see that is going to give us a little bit higher poly geometry, and you can keep that subdivided however subdivided you want. We're going to get a set position node and create our displacement. So first, let's go ahead and get in a Voronoi texture. Let's go ahead and get a vector math node, set that to multiply. We're going to plug distance right into vector, plug vector into offset, and then just bring up the bottom, which is going to be the Z. Right here in the Voronoi, we're going to go from Euclidean to Chebyshev, randomness to 0, and F1 to smooth F1, and bring your smoothness down almost all of the way. And then you can bring your scale up, and you kind of get this waffle pattern. We're going to go ahead and get a set shade smooth node, make it look nice and smooth. And there we go. We now have this nice kind of waffle pattern, and you can extrude it with the multiply right here. So right about there probably looks pretty good. And you'll notice we've lost our disk. We're going to fix that in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get in a mix vector node. Let's go ahead and get a wave texture and plug that into the B socket. So plug color into B. And let's get another multiply. Just duplicate that one and plug it in. Let's go from bands to rings, X to spherical, and bring that scale really, really low. So you can see now we have these waves. So now what's going on here, I'm going to bring my subdivision down. So now what's going on here is these two displacements, the waves and the Voronoi, they're just merging together. And what I want to do is make a really interesting way of combining displacements to make something look really cool. And that is going to be done with this mix vector. So you can have this and you can have this. You can mix these two to make something really, really cool. And that's what I meant in the beginning by a plug and play system. So instead of a Voronoi, maybe you want to use a noise texture or even an image texture. And then you can, instead of using wave, you can use, say, a Gaber texture or a magic texture. So you can kind of play around and make your own unique systems. And we can also use a texture here. So let's go ahead. Let's get a color ramp, plug that into the factor, and we're going to get a noise texture and plug that into the color ramp. And now what we're going to do, bring the detail down to 0, bring your scale pretty high up, and when you bring in this color ramp, it will mix the two of these. So we need this scale to be far higher. So now you can see, using a noise texture, if we switch this to 40, you can kind of see it. It's mixing, so we're using a noise texture as a mask to reveal the wave and the Voronoi. That's the whole point here. So now we can have a little bit of fun with that, something like this. And I'm going to bring up the scale. And we can customize this further in a little bit. So what I want to do now is create one more mix vector node. What I want to do is just mask out where the disk is supposed to be and mix it to just be nothing versus this. And that's going to be with a circular gradient. So we need to get another color ramp, plug that into the factor. We need to get a gradient texture, switch it to spherical, plug color here. And then you can kind of see it working right here. See how that works, but we can't actually adjust like how big or small that gradient is. So we need to get a vector math node, set to multiply, and then we need to get a position node so we can actually tell it where the position is, plugs this into the vector, and then what you can do is take these two nodes, and now you can actually play with that vector, that gradient, and so I'm going to bring it in so it's a little bit more harsh. And now we can mask out where the CD is, and now we have something really, really cool. I'm going to hit the tilde key, which is right above the tab key. I'm going to get a camera, hit 0, G, and middle click. We can just set something up here. Something like this. So we have a really small, honestly, the disk is really small. I should have made the circle bigger, but we can work with this. So let's go ahead, the noise texture, bring up the scale of the noise texture. Bring it something like this. And then we need to bring up the scale of the Voronoi and the scale of the wave so that everything is a little bit more defined within the mask. And so now we can just go ahead. I'm going to bring up the subdivision. That should make it a little bit easier to see. And so now we have a wave texture and this Voronoi. They're all kind of speaking to each other. One thing I want to do is soften this wave. So if you go ahead and get a color ramp and put it right in front of the wave and switch this over to B-spline, it's just going to round out that wave texture a little bit more and make it a little bit less aggressive. And this is going to help us out in the shading when we want to add the shading and make this look a little bit more kind of reasonable. There we go. So it's just going to take some tweaking and playing around at seeing how you like your system to look, but we want the waves to be higher than the Voronoi. There we go. So now we have something really cool. Now we're done. We have this whole system locked and ready to go. Let's go ahead and get a set material node. And I'm going to go ahead and just call this, get a new one, call it main, and grab main. And let's head into the shading tab. And I'm going to use cycles for this. So first, let's go ahead and get a light. I'm going to go ahead and get a light, get an area light. And I'm going to hit G, get it pretty high up, and then get it pretty far to like a 45-degree angle. I'm at the period key so I can see where it's looking. And then I'm gonna have it point directly at my guy. Maybe he's a little too far away. I'll probably move him again, but I'm hit G, hit R twice, and just have that line point directly at it, go from square to disk. I'm gonna bring that power up. I'm gonna bring that spread down to be something like this. And then bring that exposure down a little bit, have a little control. We are gonna play with the lighting as we edit the materials because that highly affects that. So let's make relatively pretty involved detailed material. So first thing we're gonna do is go here to subsurface, bring up the weight, click and drag, give them all a value of 1, and then bring that scale up to like 4.3, something like that. So we have this really interesting, I'm bringing that roughness up. You can't really see much right now. So let's go ahead. Let's get a mix color node. Make this top one green. And make this bottom one kind of a darker blue. So we're gonna mix a really bright color with kind of a darker blue with a gradient. Because we want the top portions to have the green and the floor to be this blue. So what we need to do is get a color ramp and a gradient texture. Gradient texture, switch it, actually leave it at linear. And then if you have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, hit Control T, or get a mapping node and a texture coordinate and use object. And I'm gonna get a separate XYZ, put it here, and separate the Z. And what's gonna happen is when you play with the X location, let's go ahead and bring this color ramp here first so we can see it. When you bring up the X location, you can see how that gradient is moving right there? I'm gonna go ahead and flip the color ramp because I want the green to be on the very top, just like that. Okay, there we go. This is like the base of what we wanna work with. But we have a lot more to do. Well, not really a lot, but a good amount to do to make this look good. So what we need to do is get 2 color ramps, just like that. Click on the white node. I'm gonna hover over the green, hit Control C, hover over here, Control V, Control C on this blue, and then on the white, Control V, plug them together. And we are going to go ahead and get a noise texture. I'm going to hit Control T again, mapping noise texture, use an object, plug color into both of them. Bring your detail to 12 on the noise and bring your roughness up. And then here's a really fun trick. So if you want a really cool amount of detail, one thing I'm going to do is go to B-spline and bring in that so this blue is a lot darker, and then you can bring this color in as well so you get green and blue. It's a little more grungy. And then what I'm going to do is make sure you're using the color socket. Just go ahead and duplicate the noise, and it's just going to give you a far more detailed, in my opinion, higher quality noise. So I'm going to bring up my color ramp a little bit to smooth out the gradient there. So now we have something pretty cool already. What I want to do is go ahead and I'm going to highlight and hit G, give myself some space. I'm going to get another color ramp, plug these noise textures straight into that, and plug color into roughness. So now let's play with the roughness a little bit. So I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to bring this in. Something like this. And then on the black, I'm just going to bring it up so it's not quite so shiny, but we do get a little bit of detail. Okay, so far we have this interesting look. One thing to add some more interest to this animation is getting a mix shader node, getting a metallic BSDF, plugging that into the shader, and then bringing your roughness down. That already looks pretty insane, and you could leave it that way. But what I want to do is get a color ramp, go from linear to constant, and just bring this node to the middle, plug that into the factor. We're going to get a Voronoi node, and plug the mapping that's plugged into these noise textures. Plug that mapping straight into the vector. And we're going to plug distance here. And then if you bring, let's see, I need to flip it. If you bring this in, and you need to make sure you switch the Voronoi from 3D to 2D. That's going to be so that when we animate the displacement, it's not going to move the texture around. It's not going to like that. So you have to switch it to 2D. And you bring that down, and you kind of get these like little highlight kind of polka dots, which I think just add this nice amount of interest. So I'm going to go ahead and bring more of the blue in, bring this down a little bit, make it look interesting. Same thing with the green, bring it up. Maybe bring a little bit more green in, or actually maybe less green. There we go. I'm going to bring the fade a little bit more gentle on the Voronoi. There we go. We are pretty much done here. I'm going to go back to geometry nodes and just click on the render view. And then let's just edit this displacement a little bit more, and then we can call it a day. So here on the W of the noise texture, I'm going to pick a more interesting, I mean, that looks pretty cool. And then maybe I'll give myself a little less of the wave by playing with the color ramp. There we go. And then if we play with the wave texture, you get something interesting. And I'm also going to bring up the distortion of the wave to make it look a little more organic. And there we go. We now have something, I mean, I think pretty cool. And we're done for the day. So this is it. This is the animation. If you want to animate it, I'm going to give myself 40 frames. It's really not that many frames. Here in the wave texture, give it a phase offset of 0. In your preferences in the animation, be sure your default interpolation here is linear. So go to frame 0. I'm going to hit I on the phase offset, go to the very end, and I'm going to type in 2 asterisk pi. And I have caps lock on, and it doesn't like that. So we're going to go 2 asterisk pi, hit I, and you're going to have that. If you want it to go the opposite direction, just do a -2 asterisk pi. To me, because it's music, also this is animating, because it's music, having it kind of moving outward, to me kind of conveys sound. That's why I really love this design. And we are fully finished. I would render this out at 500 samples denoised. So we can go ahead right here, select a folder where you want to render this out, render animation, and when you're done, you'll have something really, really cool. So there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this kind of chaotic, mildly long tutorial, but hopefully it gave you some ideas on how you can take textures, put like a disk in it, just a very simple, very specific concept. But I think, it's a cool trend. I've seen it quite a bit with album covers, and you can now make this in Blender and make some really cool stuff. So use it as a template and plug and play and do some cool stuff. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.